Hello and welcome to my Flosstube number 38. My name is Esther and I live in Denmark. Welcome to my new subscribers and of course also welcome to my returning viewers. So nice to see you here again. Sorry. Today is Sunday. I finally found the time to make another Flosstube. It has been really busy since school started again. And yesterday I had my family here to celebrate my birthday, which was on the 16th, but well, I held it yesterday. But today I have the time to make a Flosstube video. I have stitched on 7 projects since last time, but also on projects that I have fully finished, so it's a little more than that. Apart from that, I managed to make a Thea Gouverneur pattern fully Pattern Keeper compatible. I'm going to talk about that later. I have also been to a yarn festival here in Denmark. I love yarn. I'm not a very good knitter, but I still like to knit, but I just prefer cross-stitching, which is why I usually don't knit that much, but I keep buying the yarn, so eventually I will knit it. What else? Yeah, spooky September. I'm going to talk a bit about that because I have some plans there. And then of course I have a new question for you in the community tab, and I hope you will participate. So let's get started. My question on my community tab last time. 44 of you decided to join, and thank you very much for participating. My question was, what color palette do you prefer the most for your cross-stitch patterns? And 14% preferred pastel colors, 48% bright and vibrant colors, 20% neutral, and 18% monochrome. So I think it's fair to say that the bright colors were what most people preferred. I think most of us actually do stitch a little of this, a little from all of it. I mean, I just finished my Hello Summer, right? And that's pure pastel colors. I have a new question for you, which I hope you will answer in the community tab. It is, what do you like to see most in a Flosstube video? Is it project updates, haul, plans, life update, or a little bit of everything? So that was that. Let's move into the projects. First, the fully finished ones. They are also new, all of them, I think. I think I mentioned it in my last Flosstube that even though I'm Danish, I'm very interested in the presidential election of the USA, because that will also affect my life here in Denmark. The result of that will also affect the life of us living in Europe, and since Denmark is a part of Europe, it will affect my life as well. And I have made this one. I don't remember if I showed you last time. If I did, I hadn't fully finished it there, but I have now, and this is the back side. So American colors. Then I made this one. I've seen a lot of the rallies and stuff like that, and also the convention that was in last week. And some of the things I heard, I decided to stitch. And this one, We Trust Women, as well as When We Vote We Win. Now they changed it to When We Fight We Win, but I still hear this from time to time. And the last one is this, We're Not Going Back. And I heard one phrase the other day that I might stitch up as well. It was someone at the convention saying, I think it was from the convention saying, common sense instead of nonsense. Moving into the projects I have been working on since my last Flosstube. The first one is the Vampirum Sal by Flora Designs, and I lost my stitching mojo with this one. I'm still on part 3 and now part 5 has just been released. I just can't get myself to stitch on it. I don't know why, because I do like it, but maybe because I just finished Hello Summer and there's a lot of pink in the fabric. And I'm a little bit tired of pink, so maybe that's why. So as you see, I'm still on part 3, I think. So I decided I give up the Sal and eventually I will finish it. And I'm okay with that. The next one is Christmas Chaos. Oh yeah, I forgot the Vampirum Sal. It's an 18 count and hand dyed by me. This next one is Christmas Chaos from Just Cross Stitch Ornaments from last year, I think, magazine. And it looks like this. The only thing I stitched is this yellow line as well as this one. I'm not using the call for colors. I'm using silks from my stash. The fabric is from Chromatic Alchemy, from back when I could still buy stuff in the UK. And I think it's called Al's Dark Magic. I still have a little left of it, as you can see. I don't know if I'll finish it before Christmas. I find it a bit boring to stitch, but still cute. That's not fair of me to say that it's boring, because actually it's not. It's just that I have so many other projects I prefer stitching on. I guess that's the more accurate answer. I think this is going to be a very short Flosstube. Then I bought a new pattern. So this is my first primitive hair pattern. I saw this from Matt Morty. She was showing her video. If I said this already, I'm sorry, but I don't recall if I said it in my English or my Danish Flosstube. So bear with me, yes, if you heard that before. I saw a recap from the big stitch event that Matt Morty filmed, and as she was showing the booth of the vendors, I saw this one, and I fell immediately. Immediately I fell in love, and I just had to find it. And I have not stitched that much. I started with the bar humbug because I still haven't found the fabric for the other one. I thought that I was going to stitch the other one on this one, but when I opened it, took it out of the plastic bag, I could see there was some pinkish thing on, and no pink for me at the moment. I thought it was green. It clearly isn't. But anyway, so I have to wait a bit with Scrooge, but this one, I made the frame for Bar Humbug. It's on 20, it's a pretty big pillow, as you can see. It's on 25 count even weave, which I dyed. And there's not much modeling in it. It's very subtle, but there is a little. I did not have all the call for colors, so I went with the call for a hat that is, I think it was B5200 as well as 310. I did have the red, and this is what I got left of the red one. so it's not much. And the red one was called Lancaster Red. And let me see, what is this? Actually, this is Ecru, and that's also called for. But the green colors I didn't have, so instead I chose these two weeks dye works. It's Bullfrog and Oscar. And I'm still not absolutely positive that I'm going to continue with these. I mean, I haven't stitched anything with them yet. So I'll just have to see how it looks. And if I don't like the look of it, I will have to find another color. But time will tell, what? Then I started the autumn sampler. And that's not what she calls it, but I call them winter, summer, autumn, spring sampler by the Tiny Modernist. And this is on a 16 count Ada. It's called Parchment, and as you can see, it's Zweigart. And this is the start. And I love stitching on these samplers. They're so nice. And of course I had to stitch this one now because we are getting into autumn very soon. And I'm using the call for colors. And they are really, really autumnal colors, and I like it very much. Another autumn project is of course my last caterpillar cross stitch tree. I have worked quite a lot on this one. This is of course Hello Pumpkin with my color conversion, and the fabric is printed fabric. It's called Autumn Leaves, and I love the way this turns out. And as you can see, I'm not doing the same mistake I did with Hello Sunshine, because here I actually forced myself to do all those little bits and bobs as well along the way, so I'm not stuck with having to do them all at the end. I'm still stitching on this, but I did start a bit on the owl. But before I continue with the owl, I have to finish what's still missing up here. But I just love this one. I think of all the trees, I like all the trees, but I think this is going to be my favorite because of the colors. I love it. And as I said, it's my own color conversion because I recharted this pattern in wind stitch, and then I changed with the original colors, and then I changed the colors, some of the colors, and I'm so happy with the result. Of course, I also stitched on Vampire by the FFOs. I love this one as well. And it's moving ahead. And it's so cute. And I think I could finish it in just a couple of days, but I'm not letting myself finishing it because I love stitching on it. So I force myself to not stitch on it every day. It's so beautiful, I think. The fabric is 16 count Ada, hand dyed by me. It was one of the first pieces I hand dyed, I think. And I love the way it turns out. I love the way the letters here look. Oh man, it's beautiful. As you can hear, I'm a little bit obsessed with it. Yeah, I guess you could call it. And the last project I worked on is a project I haven't worked on for quite some time. But now in August, slowly moving into autumn. With autumn comes Halloween. I I'm not celebrating Halloween, but last year I began decorating a bit for Halloween. I mean, sorry, that's Quintus. It's not possible to buy much Halloween. The amount of Halloween decorations here in Denmark isn't very big, but then I just make all my little pillows and stuff, and then I do have something. And this is by SpeedyXStitcher. It's called Witch's Shoe, and I did quite a lot on it. As you can see, I stitched all this since the last time I stitched on it, and I stitched on it for 2 or 3 days. I brought it with me to this yarn festival because could you please be quiet? Sorry. I brought it along to this yarn festival Quintus, I'm losing my thoughts here. Yeah, be quiet. I brought it along to this all over again. Damn. Sorry. Quintus. Shut up. I brought it along to this yarn festival because sometimes I needed a break. And of course I had my tablet with me, my pattern keeper. So I sat by a table stitching on it. And a couple of times people came by and asked me what that was on my tablet, because they never seen Pattern Keeper. You know, that's a fun thing about Pattern Keeper. A lot of Danes don't know it. I have really talked a lot about Pattern Keeper on my Danish Flosstube. I made a kind of tutorial on Pattern Keeper on my Danish Flosstube, and still, yeah, well, it's not that I have that many subscribers in Denmark yet, because knitting is way bigger in Denmark than cross-stitch is. I'm just amazed that a lot of Danes, because I did make a survey, and most of them actually prefer paper and pen, which is very hard for me to understand, because if I don't have a pattern in Pattern Keeper, I won't stitch it. Which means that yes, all the projects I show you, I have in Pattern Keeper, and all of them are 100% Pattern Keeper compatible. A couple of years ago, I bought this pattern by Thea Gouverneur. It's called Krokussen, or crocus panel in English. Crocus is my favorite flower, still is, even though I'm not that much into gardening at the moment, because yeah, all my, arthritis, stuff like that. But the problem with Thea Gouverneur's patterns are that it's easier to show you. First of all, it's a paper pattern, and that's what it is. But then you just get all the floss is here, and then you only have a symbol. Of course, it's due to copyright, of course it's because they want to protect the artwork, the pattern, that they do not give the DMC numbers. But it's very annoying when you, like I, only stitch in Pattern Keeper, stitch with Pattern Keeper. I spent 2-3 hours to determine which DMC colors it was. I used my DMC color with, the booklet with real thread, and managed to find the colors. Then the pattern, of course I cannot show you the pattern, but the pattern is in 2 pieces of paper. And of course, this is the size of it, which means that it cannot go into my scanner the way it is. So I brought them to work and used the photocopy machine to make them smaller. Then I scanned the then I scanned these photocopies, and then I used the scanned picture in this onion skin feature in WinStitch. And then first of all, I started drawing all the backstitching, and there's a lot of backstitching in it. And after that, I could start finding the colors. It sounds easy, but it wasn't that easy, because the symbols she uses, a lot of those symbols are not in WinStitch. So I constantly had to go back and check, so this yellow, which symbol was that here, and which symbol is that on my computer, and stuff. But eventually I actually managed. So I could export it as a fully compatible pattern keeper pattern. At this time, I would like to emphasize that just like people they take a photocopy of the pattern as a working copy, just because I made it into a PDF to put into Pattern Keeper, that's my working copy. And of course, I delete it after I stitched it. And now it's my hope that I can do the same with the Rome pattern. But this was just 2 pages, and it has approximately taken me between 15 and 20 hours from beginning to start. But it's so much worth it. My eyes are so used to the fact that I can zoom on Pattern Keeper that I will not be able to follow a paper pattern. I can't. Also because it's so full of backstitching that sometimes it was very hard to find out what color is, what symbol is this. Sometimes I think there were quarter stitches. I just made a full stitch in WinStitch. I don't bother about quarter stitches, especially since I'm stitching it on Ada. And because of the back stitching, I do not think you can see a huge difference. So this was 2 pages. Rome is 9. Don't think there's just as much backstitching, but I do know there is quite a lot of backstitching. But I don't think I will start. I have photocopied the Rome pattern, but I scanned it, but I don't feel like working on it at the moment because, oh boy, that took a long time. So anyway, I did start stitching this. And by the way, these are the colors. I put on my own floss drops, nothing fancy at all. As I said, I'm stitching it on 20 count, and I'm stitching it on Zweigart linen that is actually called Linen Look. It's not, sorry, words. I'm stitching this on 20 count Zweigart Aida called Linen Look. And this is how far I got. And yes, there's no backstitching yet, and that's not completely true because I actually did a little bit of backstitching here. You can see. I stitched it with 1 thread. I really like the way it looks. And I do know that as soon as the backstitching is there, it's going to look absolutely fantastic. So I am so pleased that I managed to get this one into Pattern Keeper. And again, this is only, the Pattern Keeper version is only for me, and I will delete it when I've finished stitching because then I don't need it anymore. So that were my projects. As usually, I don't have plans, except that I have a plan for September, but like with all my other plans, it's not a strict plan. If I plan to stitch on a project, I usually don't tell myself on which day I have to stitch it, just that I have to stitch on it. I don't tell myself that I have to stitch at least 100 stitches on it. No, I just have to stitch on it. I made this post on my Instagram. I'll put up a picture. And if you follow me on Instagram, you will already have seen it. And if not, you're more than welcome to follow me on Instagram. That I plan to get a lot of stitching done in September. And I decided that in September I want to stitch on a lot of my spooky stuff. So I made this tag called Stitch Spooky in September 2024. I'm going to stitch, and I just picked 9, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I just picked 9 projects that I'm going to stitch on in September. That doesn't mean I can't stitch on anything else. I will probably still stitch on Hello Pumpkin, etc. But I did pick up some Halloween projects of mine, and I have to stitch on them at least for once. If it's just 20 stitches, I still stitch on them. So the first one is the one I just showed you, which is Shoe by Soda Stitch. Then I have the Weeping Helligore by Noctiflora Designs. I have the Vintage Pumpkin Carriage by the SpeedyXStitcher. And Halloween Cat by, I think it's Stitch's Love Shop. I don't remember. If not, I will put the name down here. And Autumn Lane Stitchery, I have 2. Something Wicked This Way Comes, as well as Tonight We Write. Then another Soda Stitch, actually 2 more Soda Stitches, 2 more Soda Stitch designs. The one is Halloween Witch, and the other one is the Halloween Jar, the second one. And the last one is my Halloween Owls by Madame Chantilly. So if you would like to join, you are more than welcome to use the tag. And now there's not much left except my small yarn haul, as well as a little gift my mother gave me yesterday. These are in paper bags, so I'll take them out and then I will pause and then take them out, because it gives a lot of ugly crinkly noises. Just a moment. As I said, it was a yarn festival, and these were the yarns I bought. This one is merino as well as nylon. It's from a shop called the Danish Dye-Lot. They're all hand-dyed hand-dyed yarns. Yeah, and I really like, as I said before, I'm not that good at stitches, so I'll probably just make scarves or something out of it. I have no idea yet. These 2 I'm going to make into, I'll put a picture up from what I saw in the shop, and I chose these 2 colors to make this quite huge scarf, but I found it so beautiful. These were from, what was the name? Abmetska. They were from either Estonia or Lithuania, I think. And I think they're beautiful. And then, of course, I had to buy a pin. The festival was called Fiberfolk. That means fiber people, because yarn is fibers. And of course, I'm going to turn it into a needle minder. What else? At this festival, I also bought this one. It's called a niddy noddy in English. The most crazy, it's really a crazy word, but the Danish word isn't much better. It's for when I am going to dye yarn. I can then I first have to find out how to use it, but then, you know, my silk threads for I'm just putting it down. My silk threads are usually in huge hanks, and since I'm not stitching color, I'm not dyeing a hank in the same colors. I want to make smaller hanks, and a knitting noddy is very good for that. The gift from my mother, she gave me this bag, and you might wonder what's in it, and let me show you. I find it's very cool stuff. It's a lot of old buttons, but kind of, I mean, it's leather, so it's leather buttons. They are absolutely gorgeous. Just look at them. And they're so funny. And I think I don't know what I'm going to use them for, but maybe I'll put some of them on projects that I stitch. Maybe if I eventually start knitting a cardigan, I could use some of them. Also, she gave me some metal buttons, like this one and this one. A lot of them are actually from Norway, bought when my mother and my dad went to Norway in 1962. So as you can see, there are quite a lot in here. Ooh. Wasn't that a nice gift? I think it was. Thank you for watching. I plan to come back in about 2 weeks. If you don't already subscribe, please hit the subscribe button. I'm getting close to 1,000 subscribers, something that I never thought would happen. So please hit, if you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. It could be so cool to actually get to 1,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.